If I told you there was a country with the highest GDP, a pretty healthy unemployment rate, and a stock market that just keeps going up, you would probably say, wow, that's pretty cool. But can you please leave me alone? You've been following me for like the last 3 blocks. I'm about to call the police. But then if I told you that same country has an out-of-control inflation rate, extremely unaffordable housing, and a $35 trillion national debt that's increasing by $10 billion per day, you would say, okay, I'm calling the police. Could you, sir, I need you to step back. The United States economy. What the heck is going on here? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the wonder bread and butter of this economy, the GDP, gross domestic parent. Product. What? The GDP is like the amount of stuff in your fridge. If you open your fridge and there's like 2 natty lights and a slice of bologna, you're probably not doing too hot as a country. But if you open your fridge and there's a bunch of Wagyu steak, Lamborghinis, and Taylor Swift concert tickets, you're doing pretty aight. All right, you're doing pretty good. Now currently America's fridge is filled with $25 trillion of cold hard cash. Get it? It's cold because it's a fridge, and it's hard because it just woke up. Is this good? I mean, number 1, but per capita not as good as like Luxembourg, but I'm not even sure that's a real place. It is. Really? It's European. No, your opinion. Got it. The stock market, still doing the classic Y equals A times E to the BT, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about exponential growth. This is when I learned to read. The unemployment rate is also pretty good, 4.2%. Over 95% of the people that can work are working, which means less than 5% of employees are not employees. I just said the same thing 3 different ways because I couldn't think of a better joke for unemployment rate. Even the inflation rate has taken a little tumble from a peak of 9.1% in 2022 to now below 3%. The 4 things I just talked about are usually the metrics economists look at when determining the state of the economy. And they look pretty good, meaning a booming economy, right? But why does it not feel like it? I found this cool graph that shows how non-essential luxuries like food, education, and hospital services have more than doubled in the last 2 decades. But if you're in the market for some software, there's never been a better time than now. I mean, just looking at the prices since January of 2020, unless you're on a strict banana-only diet, you've probably been selected to experience the power of American inflation. Got milk? Good. Now you're gonna get it for 25% more. What rhymes with medium rare? Boom, 37% more. Why did the chicken cross the road? Boom, so you can pay 41% more. Oh, you're cuddled up next to your fireplace and feel nice and toasty? Not for long. Boom, 44% more. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a 119% increase in price. Ring, ring. Hello, it's your landlord. He's outside with the chief of police because he did not leave a tip on last month's rent payment. Boom, 25% more. Oh look, it's a wild Pikachu. Pika pika, bitch, 38% more. Just so we're on the same page, I was talking about milk, beef, chicken, bread, eggs, rent, and electricity. All right, you can't ignore the fact that the average hourly earnings has increased as well. And if you adjust it for inflation, it almost seems like nothing has changed. But hold up there, partner.
Stop right there.
Keep those boots tied for a second. This is not accounting for income inequalities, personal debt, regional disparities, wage stagnation, and it's the average, not the median, so there's outliers that bring this number up. You really think the average American is making $35 an hour? Just for reference, if you have one Tim Cook making $63 million here, it would take 1,100 people making minimum wage to have an average wage of $35 an hour. Also, it is absolutely wild to me that the national minimum wage is $7.25. I'm not sure what multi-million-dollar rock these policymakers that set these limits live under, but let me do some quick maths for you. If you make $7.25 an hour and work 40 hours a week, you would make $15,000 or $12.50 a month. A month. Sorry, you're probably too sophisticated to understand these low numbers. Let me put it this way. Instead of having a mansion and 2 flying yachts, you would have like half a packet of Kraft's mac and cheese and a Dorito. Now sure, at that income, you're getting government benefits like food stamps, Section 8 vouchers, and Medicaid, but what the fuck? It's not like you're just a lazy piece of shit who's sitting watching Ellen all day and collecting welfare. You're working, contributing to society. Why do you have to live below the poverty line? During my research, I came across a lot of articles saying that Americans don't seem to think that the economy is doing that good, and even believe we've been in a recession for quite some time now, all because they're judging the economy solely based on the price tags of stuff they're buying or vibing with. It's because they're calling it a vibeflation, aka Americans are idiots. Part of the reason Americans have this flawed viewpoint that is factually verified by their personal life experiences and their fucking eyes can be explained here. This is the median household income adjusted for inflation. Hey, over here, you see this here? This is a negative slope, meaning the rate of inflation was higher than the rate at which the household income increased. It is starting to return back to normal at the speed of one of those gift opening circles where each person opens one gift at a time and everyone just stares at them. Way too slow. Actually, I take that back. I like opening gifts like that. You enjoy the company of your loved ones and you see the disappointment in their eyes when they open your present and there's just a bunch of shit you got on discount from Ross in there. However, even though the inflation rate has dropped from 9% to now below 3%, that doesn't mean your Pornhub virus-infested Wi-Fi is gonna get any cheaper. Everything will continue to increase in price, just at a slower rate. Economists judge the economy based on the rate at which inflation and GDP change year over year, and regular people judge it based on how much dino nugs cost. A healthy growing economy on paper does not necessarily mean an increase in the quality of life. Even though the price changes have settled down a bit, people are still struggling, and some will never return to the quality of life they had before 2020. If you like what you saw, check out some of my other videos. Thank you.
The rat goes like this, like this, like this. You are now a normal rat.